Guys, hello YouTube family and friends. I'm trying to keep it down as my neighbors may be trying to get some sleep or let their little one sleep. I just wanted to let you guys know that if you're balling on a budget, just go get you these nails from the Dollar General. The Dollar General will hook you right up. Look at this one's pink with some silver. This one's just silver. I think I painted that myself. And these are the regular French manicure. I really like these a lot, the French manicures, because not only are they French manicure, which is just bomb no matter what, but the white part is incredibly huge, which I fucking love. And I'll admit it, I got it from Trisha Paytas, the huge white tips. Love it. Anyways, this is a video for me to my driver licensing versus right to travel memorandum. I already just posted a video where I read the beginning of this memorandum, which is fucking hilarious. If y'all haven't already checked that video out, y'all go. If y'all like funny shit, y'all know when something's just funny as shit and you can't describe that shit, just go watch that video, because at the end, my cameraman falls out. So it's just funny. So it's educational and hilarious. So I mean, hey, why not? Okay. Also, if you like this video, if you want to right now, give it a big fat like, or at the end or the middle at any time, give it a big fat like, thumbs up, drop a comment below of any sort. And if you haven't already subscribed so you can see my pretty face. But the last part that I wanted to read to you guys, I didn't read the full right to travel memorandum versus driver licensing, but was just the definition part, and so I'm going to read that to you guys right now. Okay, definitions. In order to understand the correct application of the statute in question, which is driver licensing versus your right to travel, we must first define the terms used in connection with this point of law. As will be shown, many terms used today do not in their legal context mean what we assume them to mean, thus resulting in the misapplication of statutes in the instant case. Automobile and motor vehicle. There is a clear distinction between an automobile and a motor vehicle. An automobile has been defined as: the word automobile connotes a pleasure vehicle designed for the transportation of persons on highways. American Mutual Liability Insurance Company versus Chaput 60A 2D 118 120 95 NH 200. While the distinction is made clear between the two, as the courts have stated, a motor vehicle or automobile for hire is a motor vehicle other than an automobile stage used for the transportation of persons, for which remuneration is received. International Motor Transit Company versus Seattle, 251P 120. The term motor vehicle is different and broader than the word automobile. City of Dayton versus D. Brossi, 23 Northeast 2D 647 650 62 Ohio APP 232. The distinction is made clear, very clear, in Title 18 USC 31. Motor vehicle means every description and or other contrivance propelled or drawn by mechanical power or used for commercial purposes on the highways and the transportation of passengers and property. Used for commercial purposes means the carriage of persons or property for any fare, fee, rate, charge, or other considerations, or directly or indirectly in connection with any business or other undertaking, indeed intended for profit. So basically, you guys, what it's saying here, to make a long story short, is a motor vehicle is something you are using for profit, to work, to get money for a job. And while a automobile is just to travel from one destination to another. Here we go. Clearly, an automobile is a private property and used for private purposes, while a motor vehicle is a machine which may be used upon the highways for trade, commerce, or hire, which is basically what I just said, but I just said it in easy to understand layman's terms, you know? And that's not diss on anyone when I say layman's, because we're all laymen's and women. Like, that's how the bar and the attorneys and the state and everything wants us to be, which is not right. It's fraud upon the American people to not explain these things to us, to where we have to go hire an attorney with the little money that we might even have or not have to win a court case. It is not the freedom that we the people should possess to be told the correct meaning of definitions of words as far as an illegal, a lawful and truthful standpoint. Okay, so that's why you know, it's for us to educate ourselves, and it's for me to educate you and you to educate me, you know, especially for my ladies, but this is for everybody. As me being a lady and, you know, and a mom, you know, that's who I'm pushing for the most, but I push for everybody. But anyways, guys, especially in these days when the state is trying to, you know, exercise rights upon us that aren't acceptable, you know, misuse of power. And that doesn't go for black, yellow, mix, whatever. It goes for everyone, okay? That they're trying to do that too. So we do have our differences, but most of all, we have our likenesses. And it's unity, because together we stand, divided we fall, okay? Okay. Okay, there's that. All right, travel. I'm trying to talk a little fast here because my longer videos take a little bit longer to upload, guys. All right, here we go. Travel. The term travel is a significant term and is defined as the term travel and traveler are usually construed in their broad and general sense, so as to include all those who rightfully use the highways viatically when being reimbursed for expenses, and who have occasion to pass over them for the purpose of business, conveyance, or pleasure. 25 A.M. Jurist First Highways, Sec 427, page 717. Traveler. One who passes from place to place, whether for pleasure, instruction, business, or health. Lockett versus State 47, ALA 45, Boyer's Law Dictionary 1914, ED PG 3309. Travel. To journey or to pass through or over as a country, district, road, etc. To go from one place to another, whether on foot, horseback, or in any conveyance as a train, an automobile, carriage, ship, or aircraft, make a journey. Century Dictionary, page 2034. Therefore, the term travel or traveler refers to one who uses a conveyance to go from one place to another, and included all those who use the highways as a matter of right. Notice that in all these definitions, the phrase for hire never occurs. So a traveler, once again, is a person that uses an automobile, because an automobile is a personally owned travel vehicle for a traveler, and that is a person who uses a conveyance, such as an automobile, to go from one place to another. Okay, so for hire never occurs, because for hire would be a job, an occupation, something that involves a job, payment, an occupation, which would involve an automobile, which would require some kind of a license and could classify you as a driver and could classify you as an operator of a motor vehicle. I am not an operator of a motor vehicle. I am a traveler in my automobile. Now, if I was an Uber driver traveling people for a fare, for a profit, if I was if I was operating a motor vehicle such as a big semi truck, then I would need a license, actually a CDL license, because it is a very big truck. That is, I would need a license to operate that kind of motor vehicle because I am working. You know, when I'm driving my truck, I get paid for that. I'm not doing that just for pleasure. I'm getting paid for that. Furthermore, it's a large automobile, so it would have to have a different kind of license, just not just a driver's license for a regular car or motor vehicle, but for a big old truck. Okay. Okay, let's see. Here we go. I think we just... Oh yeah, it says for hire never occurs. The term travel or traveler implies by definition one who uses the road as a means to move from one place to another. Therefore, one who uses the road in the ordinary course of life and business for the purpose of travel and transportation is a traveler. At this point, I would still recommend to use a driver's license, especially if you don't have a lot of money to get bailed out or a team with you, because a lot of police officers are ignorant to the law or don't respect it. Always keep in, if you are going to be traveling without a license, even if you have these things, keep this driver license versus right to travel memorandum in your glove compartment. I think it is 13 pages long. Keep it in your glove compartment, and do not be rude to the police officer, but just talk to him like I am speaking in this voice and tell him of your right to travel in your automobile without a license. Clearly quote the law here, which has been quoted in numerous occasions, out of law dictionaries, out of court cases, etc., 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 Constitution, etc. Another thing is also, I would advise, at this point, I would advise, if you want to let your driver's license expire or whatever, if you're not driving without a driver's license, because you're actually not a driver, you're a traveler, I would keep a passport. I would keep you a passport, which is what I fully intend to do, if not sooner, then definitely later. And I think this is also necessary as the times are and as they are coming to be. Okay, let me keep reading. Okay, driver. The term driver in a contradiction to traveler and contradiction to traveler is defined as driver, one employed in conducting a coach, carriage, wagon, or other vehicle. Bovier's Law Dictionary, 1914 ED, page 940. Notice that this definition includes one who is employed in conducting a vehicle. It should be self-evident that this individual cannot be traveling on a journey, but is using the road as a place of business. Operator. Today we assume that a traveler is a driver and a driver is an operator. However, this is not the case. It will be observed from the language of the ordinance that a distinction is to be drawn between the terms operator and driver. the operator of the service car, being the person who is licensed to have the car on the streets, is in the business of carrying passengers for hire, while the driver is the one who actually drives the car. However, in the actual prosecution of business, it was possible for the same person to be both operator and driver. New Bill versus Union that word got me. Indemnity Company. Well, CO. SC 2D 658. To further clarify the definition of an operator, the court observed that this was a vehicle for hire, and that it was the business of carrying passengers. The definition would seem to describe a person who is using the road as a place of business, or in other words, a person engaged in the privilege of using the road for gain. This definition then is a further clarification of the distinction mentioned earlier, and therefore, 1. Traveling upon and transporting one's property upon the public roads as a matter of right meets the definition of a traveler. 2. Using the road as a place of business as a matter of privilege meets the definition of a driver or an operator, or both. Traffic. Having deemed the terms automobile, motor vehicle, traveler, driver, and operator, the next term to define is traffic. Traffic thereon is to some extent destructive, therefore the prevention of unnecessary duplication of auto transportation service will lengthen the life of the highways or reduce the cost of maintenance. The revenue derived by the state will also tend toward the public welfare by producing, at the expense of those operating for private gain, some small part of the cost of repairing the wear. Okay. Basically what this, I'm going to kind of skip over. It defines traffic, but I'm going to go right to license. License. It seems only proper to define the word license, as a definition of this word would be extremely important and understand the statutes as it properly applied. The permission by competent authority to do an act without permission would be illegal, a trespass, or a tort. People versus Henderson, 218 Northwest 2D 24. Leave to do a thing which licensor could prevent. Western Electric CO versus Patient Reproducer Corp, 42F 2D 116 118. In order for these two definitions to apply in this case, the state would have to take up the position that the exercise of a constitutional right to use the public roads in an ordinary course of life and business is illegal, a trespass, a tort, which the state could then regulate or prevent. This position, however, will raise magnitudinous constitutional questions, as this position would be diametrically opposed to fundamental constitutional law. See conversion of a right to a crime. Infra. In the instant case, the proper definition of a license is a permit granted by an appropriate governmental body, generally for consideration to a person, firm, or corporation to pursue some occupation or to carry on some business which is subject to regulation under the police power. Okay, I want y'all to catch that. The proper definition of a license is a permit. That right there, I can't hold on, but here we go. Granted by an appropriate governmental body, generally for consideration to a person. I'm not a person. I am a living soul, woman, creation by God, Sir Juris Justly Ran Nesbitt. I am not a person. A person is a fictitious, made-up slave by the state so that you can be a part of their corporation of the United States of America and pay off their debt. We are not persons. By law, you can be considered a person if you do not correctly and appropriately and assertively, not aggressively nor passively, fight it. A permit granted, okay. To a person, well, I'm not that. I'm not a firm. And it says person, firm, or corporation. I'm not a corporation, but do you understand that that is what they have you marked down as? And that is what you will act as if you do not learn your rights, and it's not easy. So that's why I'm here speaking. I would also advise to look up teachings by David Lester Straight, or just under the name David Straight. And it is sovereign man's law. And I would also common law, and I would pull up your American Constitution, and just start with reading your Bill of Rights, which are your first 10 amendments under the USA Constitution, and write them down and put them on the wall and learn them. You know, like your first right to freedom of speech and things like that. And let's just say your Fifth Amendment, right to remain silent. Things like that. Your Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. You know, like, just read through those as I do myself. Folks, I only have a GED, okay? I'm a very, very intelligent person, which a lot of other intelligent people pick up on, and highlights my soul. And that I'm so grateful for and happy for. You know, but you know, there's a lot of things that I don't know. And that is because I spent from about age 14 to 18 incarcerated. So I wasn't able to get an education. So I actually fought to get my GED and got it. And I graduated, I think, the second or third in the whole class, which was pretty big, and I'm very proud of. And I have this need to be, you know, I'm a scholar, and I have this need to learn and to learn and to teach people as well, because I'm a very good teacher. I like teaching people because it's just what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a teacher. Like, it's one of my God-given gifts, and I don't make people feel dumb. And I feel like God given me the gift, and throughout my personality and experience and just the way I am, like, I can teach people in a way that they can understand. And I have patience to listen to people, and it's just, I enjoy teaching. It's just, I'm just naturally good at it, with anybody. Anyways, guys, always know that you have gifts, okay? And always don't let nobody tell you nothing. You know, that's called a naysayer, you know. And no matter what you believe, and you know, especially if you know that you're a child of God and everything, and know that you're gonna make it. Just know that you're gonna make it, because and whenever you can surround yourself with good people, be around them even for like 10 minutes a day, be around them, because you're gonna shine your light, and they're gonna say, wow, you're so much better than where you live or whatever, and you're gonna know it's true. Like, someone just told me that, you know, and I was like, he's right. You know, I keep hearing this. It's like, do good, because you are good, you know. And no matter what you gotta do to get there, sometimes that's between you and yourself. That nobody, sometimes people can't relate. Sometimes people don't understand. Well, a 9 to 5 didn't cut all the bills. I had to do a little something on the side. That's your business, ladies, and that's your business, everybody. And go you for making it, okay? All right. But we're gonna go down here really quick to police power. The confusion of the police... let me pull up the chair for 1 second, guys. I'm trying to get this video done for you guys because it's getting long. Which I don't mind a long video, and I don't think you guys mind one that's educational. Fun. Alright, but it takes forever to upload, so let me stop bitching and get it done, guys. Police power. Alright, here's the good one. The confusion of the police power with the power of taxation usually arises in cases where the police power has affixed a penalty to a certain act, or where it requires licenses to be obtained, and a certain sum be paid for certain occupations. Guys, did you know that you could actually not have to pay taxes? Just saying. We're going to get into all that later. Or where it requires licenses to be obtained and a certain sum be paid for certain occupations. The power used in the instant case cannot, however, be the power of taxation, since an attempt to levy a tax upon a right would be open to constitutional objection. See taxing power infra. Each law relating to the use of police power must ask 3 questions. 1. Is there threatened danger? 2. Does a regulation involve a constitutional right? 3. Is this regulation reasonable? People versus Smith, 108 AM STREP 715. Beauvair's Law Dictionary, 1914, ED under police power. When applying these 3 questions to the statute in question, which is driver's license versus right to travel, some very important issues emerge. First, is there a threat and danger? Is the individual using his automobile on the public highways in the ordinary course of life and business? The answer is no. There is nothing inherently dangerous in the use of an automobile when it is carefully managed. Their guidance, speed, and noise are subject to a quick and easy control under a competent and considerate manager. It is as harmless on the road as a horse and buggy. It is in the manner of managing the automobile, and that alone, which threatens the safety of the public. The ability to stop quickly and to respond quickly to guidance would seem to make the automobile one of the least dangerous conveyances. See Yale Law Journal, December 1905. The automobile is not inherently dangerous. Cohen's v. Meadow, 89 SE 876, Blair v. Broadmoor, 93 SE 532. To deprive all persons of the right to use the road in the ordinary course of life and business, because one might in the future become dangerous, would be a deprivation not only of the right to travel, but also to the rights of due process. That is your 6th Amendment. Right to due process. We are the people. We wrote the United States Constitution. Also, pull up your state constitution, which I am going to do as well, which currently is Florida. See due process infra. Next, does the regulation involve a constitutional right? This question has already been addressed and answered in this brief, and need not be reinforced other than to remind this court that the citizen does have the right to travel upon the public highway by automobile in the ordinary course of life and business. It can therefore be concluded that this regulation does not involve a constitutional right. I'm sorry. It does involve a constitutional right. Woo! The third question is the most important in this case. Is this regulation reasonable? The answer is no. It will be shown later in regulation infra that this license statute is oppressive and can be effectively administered by less oppressive means. Although the 14th Amendment does not interfere with the proper exercise of the police power, in accordance with the general principle that the power must be exercised so as not to invade unreasonably the rights guaranteed by the United States Constitution, it is established beyond question that every state power, including the police power, is limited by the 14th Amendment and others, and by inhibitions there imposed. Moreover, the ultimate test of the propriety of police power regulations must be found in the 14th Amendment, since it operates to limit the field of the police power to the extent of preventing the enforcement of statutes, which, by the way, you guys, statutes aren't laws. Preventing the enforcement of statutes and denial of rights that the amendment protects. See Parks versus State 64 Northeast 682 NE 682. With regard particularly to the U.S. Constitution, it is elementary that a right secured or protected by that document cannot be overthrown or impaired by any state police authority. Okay. Oh, Connolly versus Union Sewer Pipe Co. 184 US 540. Leffier versus Grand Truck RR Co. 24A848. O'Neill versus Providence Amusement CO 1088A887. The police power of the state must be exercised in subordination to the provisions of the U.S. Constitution. Baby. Buchanan versus Wanley 245 U.S. 60. This memorandum will be construed to comply with provisions necessary to establish presumed fact pursuant to Rule 301. Federal Rules of Evidence and attending state rules. Should interest parties fail to rebut and give an allegation of fact of matter of law addressed hereon with specificity, what the fuck ever. You want me to spell it for you? I will. Specificity. The position will be construed as adequate to meet requirements of judicial notice, thus preserving fundamental law. Matters addressed herein, if not rebutted, will be construed to have general application. The memorandum addressed the issue of state statutes, regulation, and licensing of a constitutional right to free travel upon the public roads of a Pennsylvania citizen. Now pull the one up for Florida, I told one of my friends, which they're in the process of doing. But anyways, this right here, I believe is used in at least 3 states right here. And it's Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. And that's driving without a license and how it goes for a win. Yeah, that's it for now. Love you guys. Peace out. That was the video. If you liked it, subscribe. You know, like I said before, comment if you like any info that y'all give me. I greatly appreciate anything that you have to say to me, whether it may be good, bad, whatever. Please comment. Feel free to give it a big fat thumbs up and like if you like my pretty face and my information. And subscribe down below. Bye.